President Biden says he has no regrets about his handling of classified documents found at his home, by his Corvette, in his Washington office.
Those remarks come as the Secret Service says that it's ready to hand over names of people who visited Biden's Wilmington home if Congress asks for those names.
Peter Doocy joins us live from the White House with what we know on this Friday morning. Peter, good morning.
Good morning. And President Biden is placing blame for all of this on whoever was in charge of his VP paperwork after leaving the Naval Observatory, after leaving office. He is also defending his decision not to go public with this before the midterms, and he did it while he was touring flood damage in California.
I will answer the question, but here's the deal. You know, what quite frankly bugs me is that we have a serious problem. The American people don't quite understand why you don't ask me questions about that. We found a handful of documents were filed in the wrong place. I have no regrets. I'm following what the lawyers have told me they want me to do.
The Wilmington house was the nerve center for Biden post-vice presidency. There is this email now about a meeting on Hunter Biden's laptop. It says, okay, let's do 10 a.m. on Tuesday at the Lake House. I hope this gives everyone plenty of time to drive up to Delaware. Please let me know if this is too early. VP asked me to check with you all. Thank you. We know the president had an office at UDEL, which they reference in that email, and we know that is where his Senate records remain sealed, adding to bipartisan intrigue.
Whenever classified documents are found somewhere they shouldn't be, it's an issue. And we need to find out how the documents ended up there, and is there any risk that they were exposed to people that didn't or shouldn't have had access.
The key question, what led personal lawyers to leaf through Biden's files in the first place? What were they looking for?
I think everyone is surprised at every response we have gotten from the White House. Everyone's surprised at how this whole thing is unfolded. I still don't know the answer to why they were looking in the first place. What prompted them to go look on November 2nd?
The president himself is doing something that his aides and officials here at the White House are not willing to do, publicly or privately, and that is express confidence that things are going to go okay with the special counsel. Back to you.
And Peter, there is curiosity about why 6 days before the election, these lawyers were looking, and the Washington Post did take out yesterday, and they essentially said that it was at an office that he really didn't use, and so they were going to sack up everything and go. But you mentioned the University of Delaware. That's where they keep all of his Senate records. When he was a senator and the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, he had access to all sorts of secret stuff. Do we know whether or not they've looked through those?
We don't, and this actually became an issue during the 2020 campaign when the primaries were still going on, and there were some complaints dating back decades about Biden as a boss, and there were some folks who were trying to get in to look at basically the HR files, and there were lawsuits filed. Those Senate records remain sealed. Well, nobody
Peter
is suggesting that there's anything in there, but we do know that anything classified, but we do know that they remain sealed at the University of Delaware.
But they have to
Peter,
look.
have they checked, what about President Obama? Because he was the vice president. Have they checked his houses, or do we know if he was?
He doesn't have a library
anything?
yet.
We have not heard anything like that, but this would be an Obama-Biden administration file, all of it.
And we still don't know what any of these documents are regarding. They're keeping
Not
that
specifically, no.
All right.
Okay.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.